Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Legal X's, where we talk everything commercial and labor law. My name is Mesha, and today we are going to be talking about COVID-19. Well, before I start, I'd like to thank everyone that took their time to watch the previous video, to like, to subscribe, and to tell people about it. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Please continue watching and telling people about it. Yes. So yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I have some bad news, unfortunately. Yeah, the bad news is the legal access workshop that was supposed to take place at Pitts Lodge on the 28th. Yes, I know you know about it. It will no longer be at Pitts Lodge. Yeah, but it'll still be on the 28th of August. We decided to have it virtually because of the rising numbers of people infected with COVID-19. So, in order to keep you and myself safe, we've decided to have it virtually. So, yeah. That is that. It will still be on the 28th of August though, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That has not changed. The presenters have not changed. What has changed is there's no venue. The venue will be on the internet. Well, another thing that has changed is the price. The workshop will no longer be attended at a price of 500 rands, but it will now be 350 rands. Yay, that's some good news, okay? I'm saving you some money. Yeah, so yes, it'll be 350 rands to get you a seat, and to everyone that has already paid the 500, well, we will communicate with you to find out if you still want to attend, although it's virtual, and if so, then we will refund the difference between 500 and 350. So yes, we will communicate with everyone, and to those ones you who have not paid yet, you cannot just pay 350 rands instead of 500 rands, knowing that it will be virtual. I don't want to. I thought it would be at Pitts Lodge. No, that has changed. It'll now be held virtually. And we will release a poster this week. I'm not sure which day exactly, but yeah, we will release a poster with all of the information. Another thing is the attendance certificate and the gift hamper will be couriered to you. So yes, we will communicate with our attendees on everything. Yeah, don't have to say everything now, or just communicate with the attendees. And yeah, that is that on the workshop. I'm quite sad because I was looking forward to networking, talking to people, meeting new exciting people. I was really looking forward to that. But it'll pass, and we will meet again. We'll have another workshop, and we'll meet and touch and hug and all of that, because we have to believe that all of this will pass. Okay, on to the program. I have a program, you guys, like here on the side. You can't see because I have a very ugly handwriting, but yes, I will show you. Here on the side there's a program, handwritten program, because I take you seriously and I actually write the things I'm going to talk about for you because I take you seriously. Okay, all right, so I have guidelines for employers during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's 5 guidelines, and then I'm going to elaborate on one of the guidelines because I think it's complex and very important, and then that will be the end. Okay, so first, COVID-19 or not, you know, as an employer that you have a responsibility to provide a safe working environment for your employees, COVID-19 or not. Okay, I'll not get into that. I think you already know that. If you don't, you need to call me for a consultation, because these are the things you have to know. Okay, another thing is that you can establish a team that will handle the ever-changing regulations of COVID-19. Like, that team will be responsible to know what's happening today, what's happening tomorrow, after the president has spoken, such things, and then they communicate that either to you or to somebody in management. That way you're keeping up with what is happening in South Africa during the pandemic, and you're not breaking any laws, you're just keeping up. Okay, and then the third the third thing is that you can devise a communication plan in the workplace. That way, now we have a team that knows the information. It's their job to know the information, right? Then the communication plan is how now the information is communicated to all of the employees. So yes, that communication plan, it can be, you can have a WhatsApp group, you can post on your notice boards and all of that. Just devise a means of communication that is solely for COVID-19. It can also have emergency contacts and all of that, and it must be able to reach even employees that are working from home. So yes, you can do that. And the third thing is to consider alternatives to traveling. And the one that almost everyone, let me just say a lot of people so I don't lie to you, a lot of employers are doing is to find alternatives to travel by making employees work from home. That way you limit chances of contact. Like, if one of the employees is infected, then they don't have to work with the other employees and then passing on the virus to them, and then they get infected in the workplace, and now it's your problem because there's a chance that somebody has it and they don't know that they have it, and then they infect somebody at the workplace, and then it's your problem as an employer. I know you get me. So yes, by working from home, you avoid all of those things. Okay, the fifth one that I like, I think it's complex and I think it's very, very, very important, is to review your policies and employment contracts. Okay, still with me. Review your policies and employment contracts. That is not as big or as challenging as you think it might be, because all you have to do is just call me and I'll do it for you. Yes, I'm advertising myself. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes, or you can do it yourself. Okay, so when you review the contract, these are some of the things that you can have in the contract, right? You can, obviously, when you review a contract, you have to agree with the employee, because remember, this person is now an employee and they have rights as employees. It's not like when you're hiring them and you're like, okay, this is the contract, we can either negotiate it or you can just sign and we move on. Excuse me. Here now, they're employees and they have rights, so you need to sit down with them, discuss the changes, and then draft a contract, have them sign the contract, and always make sure they understand what they're signing. Okay, so in the contract, you can have a clause that requires employees to report suspected cases, and that is whether they think they're infected, or if a family member or a friend or whatever of theirs they think might be infected. But remember, now with the Protection of Personal Information Act, you guys, just call me so I can do it for you. You need to make sure that if you ask an employee a question of whether they're infected or not, you must make sure that you are doing that within the provisions of the Protection of Personal Information Act. Yes. So yeah, just be sure you're on the safe side at all times and seek advice where you think you're not sure, okay? Because you need to be sure. We don't want you getting into trouble. So yes, that's the first thing. The second thing is to require medical testing. You can have it in the contract that in such and such circumstances you need to test for COVID-19, and if an employee refuses to test, because you cannot force them to test, they can be isolated, not fired, just isolated within the workplace. Maybe you tell them you can't work with other employees, so this is going to be your designated working space where you can be alone, because we don't know your status and there's reasonable belief that you could be infected. Okay, and then the third one is you can have a clause in the employment contract that says, well, that speaks of temporary layoffs. Yeah, this is a third one, but yes, people can be laid off temporarily due to COVID-19. It's sad for the employee, but it is a solution for the employer, because businesses are affected and money is not coming in the way it used to. So yes, they can have temporary layoffs, and as of yet there are no prescribed there's no prescribed time as to how long this temporary layoff can take. Okay, so yeah, you can have that in the contract just to be safe. Although you're not planning to lay off any person, you can review your contract to say, I have an option to do this. Just put it out there as an option, because should there come a time where you feel that you need to lay off and it's not in the contract, it might be a bit tricky to work around that. So I would suggest that if you have not already, please review your employment contracts and your policies to keep you on the safe side, and to have your employees have an understanding of the impact of COVID-19 on the business. Okay, so yes, the fourth one is sick leave. Employees, whether it's COVID or they're just sick, the provisions of sick leave remain that you need a certificate, a medical certificate of as proof that really you were sick. Okay, and then this one, I don't know if you've heard of a force majeure, but it's basically a clause in most contracts that says that should there be something that makes it impossible for the provisions of the contract to be carried out, then the contract will be put on suspension until that thing that is stopping it from happening goes away, basically. So you can rely on that if you have it in your employment contract. If not, you can review your contracts and put it there. Yeah, just add a force majeure, or just a clause that says should there be situations that make it impossible for me to carry out my responsibilities as an employer, or the situation that makes it impossible for you to carry out your end of the bargain according to the contract, then the contract will be suspended until that particular situation goes away. So yes, that's it with my guidelines. I hope I made sense. You know, sometimes you talk and you hear yourself and you think people understand me, I'm making so much sense, only to find out nobody heard you. I know it happens. So I really hope you understood everything that I said, and if you would like to learn more about what you can do during COVID-19 to keep yourself and your employees and your business safe, please call me on, I don't know my business number by heart, it's 078-687-7479, or just leave a comment down below. I will also have the last video I couldn't put links. I wanted to put my social media links and I failed dismally so. And I tried posting that video I think like 3 times. YouTube kept telling me stories, but eventually I got it. And I will try to put in the links because we're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So it's Measure Legal Consultants for all of them, but I'll also try to put in the links. Hopefully I will not feel the way I did last week. Yeah, I hope you guys learned a thing or two, and if you want more information, just let me know. You can send a WhatsApp or an inbox on social media, or leave a comment down below and I will answer you whenever I can, which hopefully is soon. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, and please remember to tell your people that I'm on YouTube telling people how to run their businesses in a safe and legal way. Okay, tell your friends, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you